Imagine this: you're in a room buzzing with ambition, where everyone is chasing success. Some play by the rules, working hard and staying true to their values. Others, they lie, cheat, and crush anyone in their path. Yet, it's often the ruthless who rise to the top. Why does the world seem to reward the worst among us? From history's tyrants to today's cutthroat CEOs, the pattern is undeniable. But this isn't just bad luck, it's woven into the fabric of human nature, rooted in our evolution and social structures. In a world of scarce resources, competition is inevitable. Those who hesitate, who cling to fairness, often get left behind. Meanwhile, the ones willing to exploit, deceive, and dominate climb higher. This harsh truth forces us to ask, is morality a weakness in the game of power? Yet, there's a twist. While the ruthless often win in the short-term, history shows their victories are rarely lasting. So, the real question isn't just why they rise, it's whether their success is sustainable. And what does this mean for those of us who refuse to abandon our principles? Power is neither good nor evil, it's simply a force of life. To understand why the worst often succeed, we must first understand power itself. And to do that, we dive into one of Nietzsche's most controversial ideas: master morality versus slave morality. Let's go deeper. Two warriors stand on a battlefield. One is strong, decisive, and fearless. He takes what he wants, shapes the world to his will, and doesn't ask for permission. The other hesitates, waiting for fairness, hoping virtue will be rewarded. Who survives? Who rules? Nietzsche argued that morality isn't universal, it's a product of power struggles. He saw two moral systems: master morality, strength, ambition; power and slave morality, humility, obedience, sacrifice. These aren't just ideas. They explain why the ruthless rise while the kind struggle. Master morality is the code of the strong. They define their own worth, take what they want, and see weakness as something to overcome. Slave morality, born from the powerless, glorifies suffering and condemns power as evil. But here's the kicker: slave morality doesn't stop the ruthless, it enables them. By shaming ambition, it leaves power in the hands of those who don't care about morality. While the noble hesitate, the ruthless take control. In a world where hesitation means defeat, the results are inevitable. So, what does this mean for us? Should we abandon morality and embrace ruthlessness? Or is there a way to balance strength and virtue? To answer that, we must explore the psychology of those who rise to power, the ones who refuse to be victims. Think of it like this: life is a vast, untamed wilderness. Survival isn't about fairness, it's about strength, adaptability, and the will to do whatever it takes. The lion doesn't ask permission to hunt. The storm doesn't apologize for its destruction. Nature rewards those who endure and dominate. Human society is no different. Beneath our laws and social contracts, the primal battle for survival rages. On those who rise often share one trait: ruthlessness. Not cruelty, but the ability to act decisively, free from hesitation or guilt. This isn't an accident, it's an evolutionary advantage. Psychologists have studied the traits of successful competitors: ambition, low fear, sensitivity, and reduced empathy for obstacles. This doesn't mean all powerful people are psychopaths, but many possess traits that let them act without emotional constraints. From Julius Caesar to modern moguls, the pattern is clear. Hesitation is a liability. Power is taken, not given. The strong don't wait for permission, they lead, take risks, and face consequences later. This is why the ruthless rise, while the hesitant linger in the shadows. But here's the paradox: ruthlessness alone isn't enough. Those who wield power without wisdom often fall hard. The same traits that propel them to the top can also destroy them. History is littered with tyrants who thought they were invincible till they weren't. So, if power favors the ruthless, does that mean morality is doomed? Not necessarily. But to understand why, we must challenge one of society's greatest illusions: the belief that the world is fair. From childhood, we're told a comforting story. The world is fair, good people are rewarded, and justice prevails. Fairy tales, religion, and philosophy reinforce this. But reality tells a different story. The hardest workers aren't always the richest. The most honest don't always lead. The kindest hearts are often the most broken. This isn't a flaw in the system. Fairness is a social construct, a narrative to maintain order, not reflect reality. Power and success aren't handed out based on merit. They're taken by those who understand the game. Psychological research calls this the just world fallacy, the belief that life is fair and people get what they deserve. This belief is dangerous because it encourages passivity. If we assume goodness alone will bring success, we ignore the realities of competition and power. While we wait for justice, the ruthless move forward. But does this mean morality is meaningless? Should we abandon all principles? Not quite. The key is to understand the game without becoming a slave to it. Those who suffer most are often those who believe playing nice is enough. But those who balance integrity with strategy, kindness with strength, are the ones who rewrite the rules. The truth is this: fairness isn't something we can expect, it's something we must create, and that requires power. Nietzsche saw this struggle as fundamental to human existence. His answer wasn't to surrender to fairness or become mindlessly ruthless. Instead, he pointed to something, hera, way to transcend both weakness and cruelty. To understand this, we must explore his concept of the Übermensch, individual who rises beyond morality, illusions, and limitations. Imagine standing at the edge of an abyss. Behind you is the world as it is, full of injustice and societal pressures. Ahead lies the unknown, a path only the bold dare to take. Most hesitate, shackled by fear and doubt, but a few leap. These are the Übermensch ones, who rise above, forge their own path, and redefine power on their own terms. Nietzsche's Übermensch isn't about brute strength or blind domination, it's about self-overcoming. They refuse to be victims, reject imposed morality, and shape their own destiny. At the heart of the Übermensch is the will to power, not control over others, but control over oneself. It's about embracing your deepest instincts to create, transform, and impose meaning on a chaotic world. While the weak are trapped by fear, the Übermensch moves forward, free from societal illusions. But here's the key: isn't ruthless for the sake of cruelty. Unlike tyrants who seek power out of insecurity, the Übermensch doesn't need validation. Their strength comes from within. They don't rely on deception or oppression because their power is self-generated, independent of external approval. This is why the worst may rise to power, but they never truly transcend. The ruthless play a temporary game, climbing through manipulation and force. The Übermensch plays the infinite game, building something greater than themselves. They are creators, not just takers. So how do we embody this? How do we navigate a world that rewards the ruthless without becoming one of them? The answer lies in understanding power, not as a weapon, but as a tool. The next step is learning to compete in a world that doesn't wait for the kind-hearted. You're in a high-stakes game where the rules are written by those who play to win at any cost. If you hesitate, if you assume fairness will protect you, you lose. This is the reality in business, politics, and life. The ruthless know this. They take what they want. But does that mean you must become like them to survive? Not necessarily. The mistake most make is believing they only have two choices: be ruthless or be a victim. But there's a third path, one that blends strategy with integrity, allowing you to compete without losing your soul. Nietzsche's philosophy wasn't about blind domination, it was about transcending weakness while staying authentic. The key is understanding power without being enslaved by it. Here's how. One of the biggest weaknesses is the belief that life should be fair. It shouldn't. It never was. The strongest competitors accept this early. They don't waste time complaining about injustice, they learn the rules and use them to their advantage. This doesn't mean abandoning ethics, it means recognizing that power is neutral, and those who understand it wield it best. Many fail because they assume kindness alone will bring success, but power is rarely given, it's taken. That doesn't mean becoming cruel, but it does mean understanding the minds of those who seek to exploit you. Strategic empathy means reading people deeply, recognizing their motives, and anticipating their moves. It lets you navigate deception without becoming deceptive yourself. Most people are controlled by fear of failure, rejection, standing alone. However, develops internal power. This means embracing discomfort, taking risks, and forging your own path despite opposition. The most successful people don't ask for permission, they create opportunities. there's a difference between mindless ruthlessness and controlled ruthlessness. The first is destruction without purpose. The second is the ability to make hard choices without hesitation. True power requires walking away from toxic relationships, making unpopular decisions, or confronting uncomfortable truths. This isn't cruelty it strength. The key is knowing when and how to apply it. The ruthless often rise fast, but they also fall hard. Why? Because their power is built on exploitation, not creation. The true Übermensch builds, whether it's a business, an idea, a movement, or a personal transformation. When you create value, you become indispensable. You don't need to manipulate, because your power is earned, not stolen. So, can you succeed in a world that rewards the ruthless? Absolutely, but only if you stop playing by the old rules. Stop expecting fairness and start mastering power on your own terms. But this brings us to the ultimate question. Is power itself evil, or is it simply misunderstood? Power is the force that drives the world, shaping the lives of those who have it and those who don't. But is power inherently evil? Nietzsche's exploration of power wasn't just about domination, it was about creation. The drive to acquire power, he argued, is often misunderstood. It's not about crushing others, it's about surpassing yourself, transcending limitations, and becoming more than you ever imagined. Yet throughout history, power has been linked to corruption. Countless leaders, once they gain power, fall prey to ego, greed, and tyranny. This paradox leaves us wondering, is power evil, or does it simply expose the worst in human nature? Nietzsche argued that power, in its purest form, isn't about harming others, it's about overcoming yourself, striving for greatness, and creating new values. It's about breaking free from societal constraints and defining your existence on your own terms. But does this mean everyone who seeks power is virtuous? Not necessarily. The path to power can lead to enlightenment or destruction. The difference lies in intent. Is the quest for power about imposing your will on others, or is it about self-overcoming and aligning with your highest aspirations? So, is power evil? Not inherently. It's a tool, one that, when wielded by someone with integrity, can lead to greatness. But when used for selfish gain or to oppress others, it reveals the darker side of human nature. Nietzsche's challenge to us is to rethink power not as something to fear, but as something to master through discipline, strength, and an unwavering commitment to becoming more than we are today. If this exploration of power and success has made you think, challenged your assumptions, and sparked a deeper curiosity about life and philosophy, then make sure to subscribe to the Mirror of Being channel. Don't forget to hit the like button. Share this video with those who need to hear this truth, and stay tuned for new content every day. Together, let's continue the journey toward understanding, growth, and the pursuit of a more powerful life.